Hey, good morning. I just did my Weather Channel hit. Crazy busy day with weather at the Weather Channel, obviously, with the flooding going on in Texas. I was going to do two segments today, one on the summertime weather impact, and then the second one was on prices of beef and things like that. So I thought what I would do from a Periscope perspective is just do a quick review of what's going on now in Texas, what that might mean for the retail economy. But more specifically, sort of follow up on what we talked about on TV just 2 seconds ago as it relates to the weather at Memorial Day. So first of all, what companies hope for, retailers especially small businesses, is weather conditions that are dry. Absolutely, that's the most important thing, is that they have a beautiful Memorial Day weekend so people are out and about feeling good and spending money. For most of the country, that's what we're expecting. I would say that probably north of 240 million people are going to be having weather that's absolutely gorgeous. I'm in the Northeast today. It's fabulous. That's a big part of the U.S. economy, so I expect overall there's going to be a strong sort of push for Memorial Day in terms of positives. For the area where the flooding is going on, where it has been going on, it's going to be a really, really terrible headwind for small businesses, in particular for companies that have outdoor venues. Restaurants are going to lose business that they're not going to be able to recover. Golf courses, all sorts of sort of small businesses that really hope for a good, strong start into the holiday. So this is not going to happen in those areas, and hopefully they'll be able to make it back once the rains clear and we move deeper into the summer. In terms of the overall Memorial Day holiday, it's expected to be a very strong one in this year. In fact, AAA is estimated it's going to be the strongest in 10 years as it relates to holiday travel. They expect that as a result of that, people will spend about $12 billion just in terms of their travel for the Memorial Day weekend. Again, that's a real positive. And it works out to, if you do the math, about $300 per person. So it's a pretty decent, pretty strong Memorial Day holiday. Looking even beyond Memorial Day weekend, and I'm going to show you a very fancy, this is my handout on Periscope. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this thing. But basically what you're looking at is the summer forecast from the Weather Channel, and you notice that almost the entire country looks really, really blue, which means that the prediction is that it's going to be colder than normal. Which actually, if you think about that from an economic perspective, from a retail perspective, is actually good news. Because when you have a cool summer, especially in the middle part of the country, in the Northeast and the Southeast, it actually is not bad. It feels pretty good. As long as it's not raining, it actually propels people to get outside and spend money. So it is a positive tailwind going into the summer. It means people will have to spend less for air conditioning. The only caveat that I'll throw around that, especially for the heart of summer in the middle of July, for example, in the middle of the country, it's very unlikely it's going to be cooler than it was last year, because last year was actually the second coldest July on record for a large part of the central part of the U.S. My computer just made a dinging noise to sort of overemphasize that point. So I don't think it's going to be as cold as it was last year. I think we'll probably see more heat in the middle of the country, but overall on net, based on all of the forecasts and what's going on with the El Nino, which will influence our summer weather, I would expect it to be a relatively cool summer, but I don't think it's going to be as cool as it was last year. So I do think we're going to have a pretty hot summer. Okay, so next week I'm going to be doing, typically I do 2 segments every Sunday on the weather and economy and business and consumers and sort of all things related to that. This week, obviously, we were preempted because of the breaking weather, and that's what happens, and that's appropriate. Next week, I will be talking about inflation, the price of beef, and we'll also be talking about a few other things that we haven't really sort of put together yet, but I will be doing 2 more next week. And my plan is to do a Periscope sort of on top of each of those to be able to sort of give a little bit more detail, because on television you typically have about 2.5 minutes, which equals about 2, maybe 3 questions, so you have to be really, really fast. So what Periscope does is it basically allows me to go into a little bit more detail in terms of what we're thinking about, and then if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to take those as well. But for now, I'm going to have to sign off because it is Memorial Day weekend, and I am at my home office. My wife is out in the backyard working on a fence, and I'm supposed to be doing that too. And if I don't get out there fast, that shovel may be doing more than digging dirt. All right, thanks guys, and we will talk to you later, and have a great weekend. And think about a lot of friends in Texas and Oklahoma right now because they are really under the gun. Okay, bear with me. This thing is just, it's very difficult to use this Periscope, by the way. I'm sure version 2 and version 3 will be easier, but right now it's kind of rudimentary, but it is cool. I like it.